Can everybody turn off your cell phones, please, and stand for the pledge? Or turn them down, I should say. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I feel like elementary school. Good job. Good job.
Thanks. It's not our first time. Roll call, please.
Brzezinski? Duff?
Here.
Rayburn?
Here.
Minnelletti?
Here.
Retta?
Here.
Newman?
Here.
Thorne?
Here.
Trongo?
Here.
Tupper?
Here.
Motion to excuse Brzezowski. He gave notice that he wasn't going to be here.
Yeah, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, hopefully see Patrick next week. Correspondence, I do not have anything. Approval of the minutes from last meeting. Is there any questions, comments, complaints? If not, I'll hear
Motion
motion.
to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Rayburn?
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here for that meeting.
Minnelletti?
Yes.
Trongo?
Abstain because I was not here also.
Tupper?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Retta?
Yes.
And Duff?
Yes.
I was here for them.
Bonnie, you were here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have 5. All right, we're good. That was my question. All right, so it's done. All right. So presentation of the cases, we have 2 tonight. ZBA case 23-729, Kathleen Cunningham, location of the property, 2618 Oakview, Wolverine Lake, Michigan. Basis of the appeal, 1250.06, subsection A. Setbacks on the property line, R1-LF requires a 35-foot lakefront setback. Applicant proposes an approximately 30-foot setback to enlarge an existing deck. Is Kathleen or somebody speaking for Kathleen here?
Yes.
Yep, you are?
I'm the contractor, Mike McCoy.
Come up there.
Owner of Coy Construction. I've been here before once or twice.
Yeah, you look familiar. Kathleen, are you okay if he speaks for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Welcome to join me.
Go ahead, thank you.
You need a motion here?
Oh, motion to open a case.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
State your name and address, please, and tell us what you're doing for the Cunninghams.
Mike McCoy, owner of Coy Construction. Our address is 4214 Martin Road in Commerce. So we're here, we want to get a variance so we can build a deck that has a decent size footprint. Right now, their existing deck comes out 8 feet. They're asking for a 6-foot variance, or 5-foot variance, so they can bring the deck out 14 feet, which is a very reasonable size. And I've just found out recently that you really only want to go out 12 feet. So we only are asking for a variance that's even 2 feet less than what we've got on our ZBA. So we're asking for a 5-foot variance to make the deck come out 14 feet, which is now only 8 feet. But we're only going to be building it out 12 feet. So I'll be resubmitting a plan to Tim to review. So it's a very minor variance, and all the other decks on that street are a lot closer to the water than this one, so I think it's 8 feet is just too tight. There's just not enough room up there to put furniture and chairs and that kind of stuff. So I'm here to represent them, and we are hoping that you grant the variance so we can build a nice small deck so they can enjoy that beautiful Wolverine Lake.
All right, thank you. We may ask you some questions, but you can have a seat. Kathleen, is there anything you'd like to say? Or your husband? I don't know your name, sir, I'm sorry.
Yes, Matt.
Matt. Same last name?
Cunningham.
Okay. Anything you guys would like to say?
Pretty much summed it up. We're just asking for a usable space. We can't put a dining room table up there. Sorry. We can't put a dining room table. We can't. Part of the reason why all of us moved to Wolverine Lake and live on the water is to be able to entertain, have people over for dinner, do those kind of things. We don't have access down to the boat dock, which is another thing that all of us moved to the Wolverine Lake to have. So we're asking for a slight extension so we can put a dining table up there and a staircase down to the dock.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. Kathleen, anything, or are you good?
Yep, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. This time, I'm going to open it up to the public. If there's anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on behalf of the applicant, please come up to the podium. I see no one. Would anybody like to speak against this? Please come up to the podium. I see no one. We're going to close to the public, open it up to the board for discussion. Again, I was there today. I did see the two spray things. I know there was a question about there was two spray things in the ground. I measured them. They're about 5 feet out. Whatever he does about resubmitting plans, it's none of our concern. They're asking today for 5 feet, which is what we're going to either grant or not grant based on that. And if they wind up submitting a plan for less than 5 feet, that's going to be between them and the village. Is everybody clear on that?
Yep.
From my perspective, this deck does line up with the one to the south. The one to the north is considerably farther out and closer to the water. This does not affect anybody's quote-unquote view of the lake. If anything, the neighbors to the south would see less of the road and less of the dam, the overflow dam. So they're obviously not here tonight. They're really the only ones who would be affected by this, so they obviously, I would assume, are okay with this since they're not here. Don't want to speak for them, but that really is the only person that's affected by this deck. And it's a very minimal amount. There's still quite a bit of distance from where this deck would be, if it's 5 feet or shorter, to the lake property. So any other questions?
I have none.
No?
No.
Anybody? If not, we're going to go through our checklist. You guys good?
Yep.
All right. Give me 1 second, sorry. Agree or disagree, the special or unique condition and circumstance exists which are peculiar to the land, structure, or building involved, which are not generally applicable to other land, structures, or buildings in the same district? Thoughts?
I could say that we could agree because it is lakefront, but compared to the other properties that are adjacent to it, I don't see how this would be an issue, but I do agree there is because of the offset that it will approach into it. So.
Okay, so you agree?
I agree.
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 Ladies?
I'm going to disagree. I think it's very similar to the other properties
Yeah, I disagree also.
on either side.
Okay. I will agree to this one because of the deck that sits to the north, obviously, is way closer to the lake. So, again, it just comes down to who's this really going to affect. From my perspective, but again, I respect what you're saying. Agree or disagree, the interpretation of the provision of the zoning ordinance would deprive the applicant of the rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same district under the same zoning terms, and the variance is the minimum necessary.
Agree compared to the neighbors.
I agree as well.
Same.
Same reasoning. Yes, I agree.
Same.
Yeah, agree.
All right, so we're all in agreement there.
And again, that's due reason.
Due to the fact that the neighbor to the north is considerably farther out and closer to the water.
Okay.
Does everybody agree with that?
Agree.
Yes.
One second, guys, sorry. Agree or disagree the special conditions and, agree or disagree the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant, they are not self-created.
I'd say disagree because they're applying for a variance.
Does everybody disagree with that? I mean, it's really
Yes.
obvious.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
coming in, they have a deck, but they need a bigger deck, so, I mean, I think that's pretty common that
Correct.
most of these problems are self-created, because they already have an existing deck. Excuse me. Agree or disagree the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of this ordinance?
Agree.
Agreed.
Agree.
Does anybody disagree with that?
No.
And reason?
Again, deck to the north is considerably farther out. There are decks around that area that are considerably closer to the water than what they're proposing. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Agree or disagree the variance will be not injurious to the neighborhood or otherwise detrimental to the general welfare? Does anybody disagree with that? Good. Agree or disagree, the spirit of this ordinance shall be observed, public safety is secured, and substantial justice done. Does anybody disagree?
Motion to approve ZBA case 23-729. And, well, it's really, what, 2, 4, 5, and 6 was consensus?
Yes.
And the positive?
Yeah, and the other one was, yeah.
Even one.
And the basis for the appeal is to allow just the 5 feet
Yeah.
that they're asking for, and if a different plan is submitted that is
Less.
at or less,
Yeah.
that will be fine with that, and they'll have to get that approved through Tim.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on what we're voting on?
No.
No.
Roll call, please.
Warren?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Tupper?
Yes.
Duff?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Claiborne?
Yes.
And Lee.
Yes. You guys are all set? If there's going to be a different plan or something, talk with Tim. You know, you guys can figure that out.
A smaller deck.
Yeah, just work with him. It'll probably, I don't know how long it's going to take for a permit. You'll have to work with him, but you guys should be all set. The girls will have paperwork tomorrow, but give them a little bit of time to kind of process everything. I would say give them at least a week and then check in sometime next. I mean, you've done this before, so give them a week and then give a call, but you know the drill, so you guys are all set. All right, best of luck to you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the day.
We'll see you.
It's been something I said, everybody's leaving. All right. Next case. ZBA case 23-730. Matthew Nelson, 1005 Mallow, Wolverine Lake, Michigan, 48390. Basis for the appeal, 1250.06, subsection A, setbacks from the property line. Ordinance requires a 25-foot or average of adjoining properties. Adjoining properties approximately 100 feet from the property, and the proposed setback is 25 feet for construction of addition on the home. Can you hear a motion to
Motion to
open the
hear.
case? I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So what do you want me to do here?
Well, it depends on how you feel, the board members,
All
if
right.
you want to consider your tabling of it.
This being said, everyone, I went out there today. I don't know anybody else's schedule. I did not see anything marked. Obviously, we do have a plan. There are people here in the audience that we would still get them to go on the record for. Part of the application does tell the applicant that things need to be marked. Not just submit a plan, but you actually have to physically mark wall. And I'm saying that because I don't know if you know that or not, being on planning. They have, stakes, like the last people, I saw some spray paint. I don't know, you guys didn't see that, but I did. In this instance, I didn't see that today at 2 o'clock. I don't know when anybody else went, but at 2 o'clock, if it's not there, just because it might be there at 6 o'clock, we all don't go necessarily at 6 o'clock. It's supposed to be done, what I understand, is a week prior to. It gives everybody the opportunity to go look at it. It's going to be up to the board. Do we want to hear this case with this unmarked as of when the last time we saw it? Or do we table this, allow the public to speak on it, and have them come back a different month?
And if I may, keep in mind,
Of course you can.
in your consideration of whether or not you want to do that, I mean, it is part of the application process, it is the rule.
Correct.
But on the other hand, as well, it's up to you to decide whether or not, if you went out there and looked, or from the information you have, whether or not you do feel, and going forward, this is something that needs to be done, but whether or not you feel like you can still make an informed decision on that today without having had that. That's up to you. So if you feel like that's something that's you need that and you want that, then.
What I don't want to do is, I don't want to inconvenience our residents. But we do have rules. And part of those rules, and we've discussed this in this board, about what are the expectations of applicants, of what we expect as the board to look at. We want to give them the best decision. I'm fine with listening to this case because based on my background, I can make a decision based on this not being marked. However, I don't want to put the other 6 folks in that same position. So I can speak for myself and say, I'm okay with it. But if somebody's not okay with it, I don't want to put the pressure on you to say, I'm not sure what I'm voting on because I didn't see it marked. So if you're not comfortable, I'm okay with that, and we'll figure it out. I want to do what's best for everybody on the board. I'm good with it because I have the background in construction. But I know others on this board do not, and that's okay. So it's really what you're comfortable with. I don't want to inconvenience them, but we all, something wasn't done that we normally would want done. So it's really going to be the call. If you guys want to do a roll call, that's fine. I don't know if it's, majority wins. I don't know how you want to do that, but I don't know if one person's not comfortable, then we table
I
it.
think so. I think that as a whole, if one person wants it, because that is the rule, then, but that's, again, kind of up to you. This is a little uncharted territory, so to speak, but.
Well, from my perspective is there anybody uncomfortable based on, I'm sure we've all read these packets, we all do. You're all very, very prepared, and that's why I like working with all of you. Is there anybody here that's not prepared to make a decision based on the fact that we didn't see some markings? And if you are, don't be embarrassed, it's okay. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, and maybe they didn't quite grasp and understand that, and I'll have a conversation with the girls upstairs to maybe they need to explain it better. Maybe they didn't see that in the application. I'm not going to blame these folks, but there's also a process. So is there somebody here that's not comfortable? And if you're not, please just say it, it's okay. Or if we're good, we're going to open this up and get rolling.
I think because they supplied additional information, it's pretty well out plans, that they did go above and beyond to present themselves.
They
So I
supplied,
think
they supplied
because-
some great stuff.
Yeah.
So there is an issue with not following application, but I think they went above and beyond.
I agree.
To supply us with information that.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
I just think as a board, we've had this discussion a few times with cases that have not clearly marked what they're looking and what they're asking for. I just wonder at what point, or what does that say in that packet? I mean, what is the language?
I don't have it in front of me, and you know what, I wish I
just feel
did.
like we need that as a board. We need to know what they're being
Yeah, right
asked.
there.
Oh, you have the packet.
Can I see that, please?
I just wonder, just moving forward, how can we make it easier for our residents to do what we're looking for, to make it easier for them to get what they're looking for?
If you have a rule, then we need to follow the rule.
I'll let you speak. It states on the variance request checklist, on the last item, which 1 week prior to the meeting, the parcel must be marked and staked, flagged, or painted with fluorescent paint at each corner of the site and each corner of any proposed building. The address or lot number must also be clearly posted. I guess my request to the village, if it's possible, down the road, we remake the packet, can we bold it, maybe font it a little bigger? So then at that point, you can't say, I just missed it.
Verbally told to every applicant.
You guys do a great job, and I'm not picking on you by any means. I mean, I've dealt with you on stuff from my own personal house. You guys do a great job. I by no means, please don't take it that I'm throwing this on you. It's not your issue. But I'm thinking, hey, if we bold it and make it a little bigger, then at that point, what can somebody say? So if anybody wants to see it, I mean, it's clear as day.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for that.
I'm going to let the applicant speak, because it sounds like he has a question. And then I'm just going to take one brief conversation, then we're going to close it back up, and we're going to make a decision. Are we okay with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Mark?
I'm good with it.
Okay. Go ahead, sir. Can you pass that back to her, please?
Just a point of clarification.
Your
on-
name and address,
Oh,
please.
sorry, Matthew Nielsen, 1005 Mellow Street, Wolverine Lake, Michigan. Just a point of the marking. Not only are the ladies upstairs in the office for the village, and making sure that applicants understand that they need to mark it out a week in advance, they're actually recommending it get marked out 2 weeks in advance. The property was actually marked out the Sunday 2 weeks prior to the meeting. One of the other audience members actually helped me out with staking it. We actually staked out with green garden stakes. They're standing about that tall in the yard, one on all four corners of where the proposed addition is, and it's also marked out with yellow spray paint.
Where are those stakes today?
They're still there.
All right, I believe
So
all of us went there. I did not see
apologize
any
if you didn't
stakes.
see it.
There were, I walked all through your backyard.
Did the
I
kids move them? All right.
How big are those stakes?
They said about that tall. They're narrow.
I mean, they're green, maybe they.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Here's my suggestion. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. My suggestion is we hear the case. Gentleman said he marked it, spray painted it. I want to be fair to all our residents. In the future, if I see an issue like this again, I'm going to take a picture. So that at that point, I can pull out my phone and go, show me. By no means am I calling him a liar. I didn't see him, you didn't see him, you didn't see him. Apparently, we all missed it.
No.
So my suggestion is, let's listen to the case. But again, if one person is uncomfortable, I'm okay with that too. Let's listen to the case, but the next time this happens, I'm going to take that next step, which is take a picture and then send it to the village, and then they can make a decision on what they want to do. Everybody okay with that?
I agree.
All right. So I already have a motion to open the case. We already have a second. So if you would like to come up here, again, tell us what you'd like to do, and we can hopefully get something figured out.
So, good. Ned Nielsen, 1005 Mallow Street, Wolverine Lake, Michigan. Current homeowner. We're proposing to put an addition on. We're a family of 5. We have 3 young children. The house is currently 3 bedrooms. This would allow us to expand, put in a couple extra bedrooms. We currently have a well to the south side of the house. We're already up against the property line to the west. We have an existing septic and field to the east. We're already a 2-story house. We are on a slab, but our primary entry door is on that first floor. So with the requirement of, the ordinance of no more than 2.5 stories, we'd run up to that if we were to try to build up. So we're looking at trying to build to the north of the house. While we would meet the 25-foot minimum, we would not meet the average of the adjoining properties. Neighbor who's in the audience today, that house was redone in the early 2000s, and as part of that, they purchased a lot and a half from what our previous neighbor used to be, allowing them to redirect their driveway from Del Monte onto Woodlawn. Because of that, they now have a 100-foot setback from Mallow, but if you look at the lot depth of the houses on the south side of Mallow, the lots are only 120 feet deep, so to try to hit that average would be very hard to accomplish with the original lots as was originally platted for that subdivision. And then also to complicate matters with trying to build up and requesting a variance for that direction, back in 2020, we had a substantial oak limb fall on our house. It broke 12 of the common trusses on the south side of the house, requiring us to temporarily move out of the house while our house could be repaired, and while we did tear it down to studs to make sure that there was no damage. I'd rather not try my luck anymore by building up on top of that existing structure after such a significant event.
You said you did or you did not?
We did.
Okay.
We definitely did.
Okay. Would your wife like to add anything? I assume that's your wife? Okay. Is there anything like that? You did a wonderful job. All right, have a seat. All right, this time I'll open up to the audience. Would anybody like to speak on behalf? If you are, please come on up and state your name and your address.
I want to invite Mike Knish, 1171 Mallow. I've known Matt for, 12 years now? The guy's worked his butt off in this house. When he bought this house, it was, I hate to say a dump, but it was close. And the addition he wants to put on, I think it's going to look really nice. We call this our little corner of paradise, Mark. And we just love it out here, and I think this addition would look just fantastic for the neighborhood. And he's got a really good roofer helping him out.
Well, that's up for debate, but we'll go from there. All right, thanks, Mike, I appreciate it. Anybody else? If anybody doesn't know, Mike is the owner of Spencer Roofing, so that's why
Listen, I'd like to object to your city attorney immediately.
So would we. But,
He gave me a pen earlier today.
That's right, you got my pen.
I know, only one.
Wow, it's trading favors, huh?
Bribery.
Was that graft or something? I had
Sounds
no
familiar.
idea.
All right, name and address, please, sir.
My name is Mark Hart. I live at 1007 Mallow, right next door to Matt and Shay. They are the epitome of the greatest neighbors on the planet. They absolutely are. And what they're trying to do, I cannot imagine it having any adverse effect on anybody in the neighborhood or on the environment or on sight lines. They have great kids. I'm sure they want that extra bedroom or two. given what's going on over there. So I would heartily endorse and recommend that you guys grant the variance. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience? I don't see anybody. Anybody in the audience want to speak against? I don't see anybody. We're going to close to the public, open to the board for discussion. Does everybody kind of understand, based on everything, kind of what you're looking at?
Yep.
You know, their biggest issue, of course, is the house that sits on the corner of Del Monte and Mallow. That's what really throws off that measurement. So when you see like 100 feet, oh my God, and they're asking only for 25, well, it's really one house that really just obscures that. There was a house that I don't know if any of you remember, the other one, it might actually have been 1007 Mallow that we did to the deck. It was the deck, I mean, right? And I mean, his deck is on a high tide, might be in the water.
Yeah.
So again, if you look at kind of how this is all set back, it doesn't affect any sight lines. It doesn't affect anybody. The only people that it may affect are here tonight, and they're speaking for this. We'll improve a house that is in need of improvement. It's a nice home, but could also need, something nice. So from my perspective, I think it's a great plan, and it's laid out well.
And averages aside, it still meets the setback requirements of the village.
Yeah, exactly.
More or less. I mean, the standard setback.
The setback's 25, and he's at 50. Again, just the one house just skews this 100. So, I mean, again, it might be something maybe we can work on down the road to make this issue a little bit easier for our residents. But, as of now, that's the rule that Tim has to use. So, any other questions? If not, we'll go through our checklist. Nothing? All right. Agree or disagree? Special or unique conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land structure or buildings involved, which are not generally applicable to other land structures or buildings in the same district. I'm going to start here and say yes because of that other house that sits way off. Does anybody disagree with that?
I agree with that. Agree.
What was that address in the morning?
1007.
1007. Agree or disagree, little interpretation of the provision of the zoning ordinance would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by the other properties in the same district under the same zoning terms, and the variance is the minimum necessary. Aaron?
Say agreeing is because of the one common driveway offset that skews the average.
Agree with that.
You all agree?
Yeah. Agree.
Anybody disagree? Good offset of that other house, right? One second, guys. Agree or disagree, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the action of the applicant, they are not self-created. In this instance, I don't think he had created the issue because he didn't put that house 100 feet, he didn't put that house way back, but he's still actually within the standard setback. That's my perspective of it. Again, you could have a different perspective of it. I mean, obviously, he is coming in front of us and causing the issue because he wants to add on to it, but, that to me is the only, and usually this is pretty much, everyone causes the issue because they're here. But from the issue that they're having isn't their fault because of this other house. They actually do meet the quote-unquote setback from the city, just not the averages. So that's just my 2 cents. Aaron, what do you think?
I'll take it as a disagree, just because the average setback.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'll disagree with that.
Yes, disagree. Yes.
Disagree.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Disagree.
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 I agree with this one. Agree or disagree, the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of this ordinance.
Agree.
Agree.
Does anybody disagree? And that's because of the setback of the one on Del Monte?
And then you have the two neighbors that are going to be affected sitting in the audience for.
And neighborhood support. Agree or disagree, the variance will not be injurious to the neighborhood or otherwise detrimental to the general welfare. I think we all agree with that.
Agree.
Agree or disagree, the spirit of this ordinance shall be observed, public safety secured, and substantial justice done. Do we all agree?
Agree.
All right.
Motion to approve ZBA case 23-730, based off of 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Second.
Okay. So what we're doing is, we're going to tie this to the plan that was submitted. And we don't have it in the,
Just setback.
yeah, just, yeah,
Based
just.
upon plans.
Yeah, based upon plan submitted, that's all I want to do, sorry.
Just the setback part.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Nicolay,
Yes.
Thorne,
Yes.
Toronto,
Yes.
Tupper,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Mayborn,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Same thing, you all set? Give the village a week, maybe a little longer, get all your paperwork together, give them a call for you to come down, permit should be available, you guys can get going. All right, best of luck to you guys, enjoy your summer. Make sure you get a couple of roofing quotes. Thanks, Mike. Good night. All right, new business there. I don't have anything unless somebody has something they want to talk about. No, good. Council, anything to go over?
It was not at the last council meeting, so.
Nothing to go over. There's no table business. Do you want to adjourn first? Or, okay, so I'm going to do an adjournment. All in favor?
Do we want to ask if there's another meeting next month? or-
Tim, you got anything next month?
I believe there is one case next month, yes.
I keep forgetting you're here. You would know more than him. She's a lady, and I expect nothing less. All right, a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Okay.